Hello team, welcome back to another Line War cast. This is your map today, a predominantly Navy map. I think clearly docks are going to come into play here. On Alpha Team in blue, someone said that my nickname sucks. In red, Syntax, and in orange, Romad Quantum Scientist. And on Bravo Team, in teal, Jan Banholzer, in pink, Desobnerin, and in green, Infenzia. Nickname is here in blue, going for quick docks. Looks like Romad is doing the exact same in yellow to the north of Nickname, and Syntax is by themselves on this kind of central island. Yan going for 3 docks immediately on the same island as Infenzi, who has gone 2 docks and a refinery. 3 docks from Desobnerin. And energy is going to very likely play a huge part in this game. Factory from Yan. And a factory and 2 barracks from Syntax. The first refinery and a depot for Romad, like we've talked about, the gas is just going to become a huge part of this game. And how the teams share their gas likely. Boats take a bunch of energy to run. 4 docks from Nickname that are all going destroyers at the moment. This 4th one is building. It wasn't a pre-constructed building. So no destroyer out of it yet, but I assume there's going to be more destroyers. 3 destroyers immediately from Romad. We can't really see what boats Bravo Team is making, but 2 transport boats immediately. And Yan's going to go across, and this is when both teams are going to be able to see that, like, where they are, where each other, like where both teams are sort of situated. Desobnerin's also sending a transport boat to help out with this landing. And Fenzi's got the gas hooked up to a depot, which is hooked up to a little power plant for Yan to keep these boats going. Likely some energy sharing going on there, or will over time. And Fenzi's starting infantry are going to head over in the transport boats with Yan to start capping. And a missile boat for Infenzi out, kind of scouting the southern part of this island. We already see that Nickname and Romad have their depots set up. Let's see if there's another pipeline that's created for Syntax to be able to get in on some of that energy action. 2 airports and an airstrip for Syntax. So these airports are likely going to be very important for defending this landing attempt and any army that gets on this island for Syntax. And in general, they could be used defensively over time to attack these docks. It's definitely in range of helicopters. Strikers will be able to hit this. I mean, bombers if those are built. Yan goes for a factory here. It's close to the water, but there's these docks to support it, so it's not like Alpha Team's going to be able to roll up with boats and then just destroy this. And Syntax is going to have to be careful, because we've seen in team games one of the quickest ways to lose is for one of the players to just get double or even triple teamed. And when one player on the team is out, it makes it very difficult from an economic point of view for the team with the player disadvantage to come back. The beep beep we hear is Nickname out of gas. Here comes this first refinery for Nickname. 1 refinery for Romad. It's just not enough to be able to support 7 docks in total. Infense getting more scouting in the north. And this is great. I mean, this missile boat's worth it just to even see all these different docks and see what's going on, where Nickname is, and in the north where Romad is. No second gases yet. Desobnerin race to this water territory, presumably get this energy well. And Desobnerin is going to start capping in this northern little island, which there's a bunch of trade routes on this map. It's part of why Navy becomes so much more important. Let's see if any of those come into play. Full scout from this bottom missile boat. And what is going to end up being a full scout for this missile boat in the north before it's taken out by that huge destroyer army from Romad. This is the part of the map that super matters at the moment. Bravo Team doing a great backdoor drop on this depot. It's not hooked up to anything yet. but it puts the airport and maybe even a factory at risk. Either one of these buildings, I think, really is a win for Bravo Team to destroy. This push is going decent. The landing has certainly established itself at this point. It just depends on whether Bravo Team can continue to reinforce this. Depot goes down, destroyers racing in from Romad to start picking away at this artillery piece. And Nickname is starting to get aggressive with these destroyers heading towards Bravo Team's base. This one helicopter, there's no missile boats, so these destroyers can't actually hit this helicopter. So this helicopter is doing a bunch of work to try to defend this factory and this airport. That infantry just goes flying. Never seen that before. It's still open question as to whether this airport goes down. It's very damaged at this point. Slowly catching fire. Infantry just flying around the map. You love to see it. Will this one fly? Will this infantry also take flight? Yeah. Wild. Infantry battle between Syntax and Desobrin here. This is important for Desobrin to establish another beachhead because it opens up a second front against Syntax, who won't be able to continue to push everything to the east. They'll have to divert some attention to the north to deal with Desobrin's landed force. Desobrin's on this northern island, but out of gas at the moment. Pipelines set up between Bravo Team, all linked to this central depot. Absolutely love it, but Nickname's about to try to rain on this parade and just roll by this one cruiser. Okay, never mind. Romad and Nickname are just going to take a fight here. And with the aim of overpowering this cruiser and then destroying these two docks, which will leave both of these refineries super exposed. There's no airplanes yet for Bravo Team. So there's no real way to punish this. Desobrin is trying to send some units down south to at least defend this back refinery, but Desobrin's having trouble because of the aforementioned energy problem. And really, I've seen in 1v1s when I've played them, one of the quickest ways to lose a Navy game, like a predominantly Navy game, or to win a predominantly Navy game, is to kneecap your opponent's energy infrastructure. And it's very fragile. I mean, if these boats run out of gas, then all of the destroyers for Alpha Team are just going to be able to drive, or sail, pardon me, whatever the heck we want to call it, just like rip by the Navy and then just start sniping all these refineries. Desobrin's going for a second refinery. That's super important since there is gas issues. And I don't think this many boats from Pink are going to be able to hold off this many boats from Alpha Team, pardon me. I mean, Yan's getting in on the action from the rear here. One of the refineries does go down. I guess it's hard because that gas is probably very important for Bravo Team to be sharing to keep these boats moving. Second factory now from Yan, who's getting even further entrenched on this landing zone. And when Desobrin starts pushing from the north, that's going to put pressure on Syntax. Romad and Nickname get across in Romad's transport boat. But there is a defensive line in the forest from Desobrin, and that's going to at the very least buy a lot of time for Bravo Team. Town for Romad with a power plant behind this to ensure that these boats keep moving. Nickname's on the far left island. And Offensive has built a barracks here, sending 4 infantry to this main landmass on the left. That's a lot of economy. This is a huge question. Romad's cruisers have just haste moved behind all the boats for Bravo Team. And might be able to destroy this refinery. Which, if this refinery got destroyed, I wonder if these pink boats would just stop. We see that Yan's having trouble with the gas at this point. Offensive rebuilding this refinery, which is super important. And definitely the play. Energy security in Navy games, like we've I've just been saying continuously over and over again, is a huge thing. It's not an easy thing to balance, but it is extraordinarily important. Here comes this push from Desobrin on the north of Syntax that's going to put a lot of pressure on Syntax, who's building a power plant here, because Syntax's planes are out of gas. The planes here for Syntax would be huge because they could actually start attacking that army from Desobrin. There's no SAMs or missile boats close. The two destroyers from Romad aren't able to destroy that refinery. And Infinity has landed on the bottom left. So has Nickname, though. So it'll be a question of whether Infenzia can invest production here, and whether Nickname can invest production, and who has more. Great fortune for Nickname to have this destroyer down here to catch this transport boat. Here comes Nickname's new navy. This 4-dock setup is just huge for Nickname because it allows them to rebuild navies super quicker than any other player on the map at the moment, with that dock advantage. And Romad's going to use the Navy of the North to... This choke point is very important on this map. A lot of control goes to whoever can hold that. The Sovereign's advancing army on Syntax's northern flank is very scary. A factory from the Sovereign, I like this. Dig-ins from Syntax in really the best locations possible to stop these drops. I mean, Syntax knows that there's no real way that Bravo Team is going to be able to land back here anymore because of this huge navy of Nickname. Heavy on the cruisers for the Sovereign, which I like. I mean, really, DeSovereign can see that Syntax doesn't have that many planes, and this one missile boat for Yan in this little bay is actually super good. Another refinery for Nickname, and some industry on the far left. Romad's building a port now. Here comes a naval fight between DeSovereign and Nickname, or DeSovereign and Romad, pardon me. It's all cruisers for pink against predominantly destroyers for yellow. So this is a fight that if Romad stuck around, that they'd likely lose their whole navy. So wisely backing up. And unfortunately for Bravo Team, there's no real way to turn this into a two-front battle now because of the defensive lines for Syntax. But let's see if Disarmory can get much done with this factory and artillery, or this artillery and infantry army. If Syntax can start flying these planes, if they get the energy to do so, this will be very bad news for Desobrin, because there's no anti-air really beside this one missile boat from Yan. Here come the helicopters. And another navy run by from Nickname. With all the destroyers, they do get one of the gases. This is a huge problem now, because the destroyers are just so quick, and one cruiser unfortunately isn't going to be able to defend this. So Nickname's going to get at least another gas, and this might cause that kind of tipping point problem where if you snipe enough gas and then your opponent's boats can't move, you can just pick essentially any target that can be hit by Navy and just get it for free, because these cruisers aren't going to be able to pursue, and the destroyers are so quick, just so quick. There's one destroyer here from Yen to try to defend this many destroyers. Nickname is going to start splitting these destroyers between the two refineries, and yeah, this is exactly what's happening. Infenzia unfortunately can't move these boats because of, I mean, there's no gas generation. This refinery is also going to go down, which makes this very tough. One of the airports for Syntax goes down. I missed this. Combination of SAMs and from Desobrin and Yan's missile boat destroy that one striker. It'd be so great if Desobrin can do a bunch of damage here. But with two factories from Syntax that are all of Syntax production buildings can now focus on defending the north. There's plenty of units in these defensive lines. It's not like this push from Yan is going to happen just because of how bad the trade would be attacking into this defensive line. Then 3 SAMs can still mess up a helicopter, even just with the missiles. They don't even need to be using the machine gun, which does more DPS technically. This push sort of fizzles for Desabrinen, who only has the 1 factory against the 2 factories and 1 barracks of Syntax, so great defense from Syntax here. Boats from Nickname taking out the barracks for Infenzia. And an airport in the north from Romad that will be able to attack this navy. It could attack the units on this far right island. It could help Syntax defend their main base. And I've kind of lost the plot and wasn't really looking, but Nickname clearly got by and sniped that refinery. And this is exactly what we're talking about, because now Nickname just uses the mobility of these boats. None of Bravo Team's boats can move. And this refinery might finish for a split second for these cruisers to get into a better position from Infenzia. But it's such a number of destroyers that I think the destroyers can just click on this refinery and end up destroying it anyway. Every time that the boats take that black plume of smoke, they'll take more damage over the next 5 seconds. So that lets a small destroyer army like this actually punch above its weight, so to speak. Syntax now starting to push back in the north. Yan's in a tough spot because there's not really much they can do. Pushing into those defensive lines would be very tough to break. 2 industry now for Nickname on the far left. And a barracks on this island, which is huge, getting that production head start. Now let's just go big picture here. So Nickname backs up with these destroyers, so there is some energy coming back to Bravo Team. But I think really the pace is gone now for Bravo, and they're just kind of stuck behind here defending this refinery. And Infenzia goes for another refinery. If Nickname peels off some boats to check on whether this refinery exists again, that might just end the game. Romad's having some gas problems. There's some more power plants. Power plants are a third as efficient as a refinery. So we can kind of think of these like 3 power plants as worth 1 refinery. And there's still tons of boats, obviously, for Romad. A lot of cruisers. These take up a ton of energy. And these 3 docks for Yan are left undefended because the Navy is in the back dealing with these destroyers from Nickname that just keep bouncing between the different possible energy wells. These 3 docks are certainly going down. Defensive line from Syntax. Over time, Syntax, doesn't need to push because of what's going on in the rest of the map. Nickname has found this barracks of Infenzia at like pretty much the perfect time, unfortunately for Infenzia, because these infantry are going to get on top of that and destroy it before it even produces a single unit. And eco-wise, Alpha Team has a way better look right now. So Syntax really just gets to dig in, buy time, let these navies do their thing. And I don't think there's any possible way Bravo Team can come back from this. This game sort of highlighted the dynamic in a Navy game with like the energy security and also the strength of destroyers and how quick they are. These cruisers from Desabrinen are doing their best to defend these docks of Infenzia. But without having this second refinery, it's tough to keep these boats moving. Romad's able to destroy both of these factories over time. And I don't think Desabrinen is going to be able to defend, or rather reinforce this push quick enough. And there you go, Infenzia is out, Desabrinen's out. And there goes Yan. GG. Well played to both teams. Very cool dynamic on the water. I don't know if, it seems like a contentious thing in line war, whether folks like or hate water maps in general. It's a very strong term, but let us know in the comments. If you'd like to learn more about the game, check out the Line War Discord to chat with nice community, ask questions. This game was from the Match Replays channel in the Discord. Check out Twitch if you'd like to watch some folks play. I stream on Twitch, SodaQuackers. It's the same name as on YouTube. Enjoy your night, day, evening, whatever it is. We'll see you soon. Enjoy. Peace.